This way. What? I'm from the land down under.
Hello, everyone. This is Scratch and Drac from the Amazing Scale Modelers Across the Pond Hangout. This is probably the first and last hangout we're going to have. I'll explain later as to what that means. Google left to right, of course. I can't ignore it. I'm usually going to start with Bob, but I'm going to start with Heath. Get you out of the way. How you doing, Heath?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you. A little less hair on top tonight.
Yes, you shaved it a week or two ago.
Yes, I'm going to have to shave it again.
And why did you shave your head?
To stay cool in summer.
In summer, yes. It is now becoming the Australian summer.
You notice the mane comes back in winter.
Uh-huh.
So, I have got absolutely nothing on my bench because it has been
Too hot
to do anything.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you. Well, okay. You can brag about having the best Olympians. You can brag about having the best culture. And you're bragging about seeing Star Wars first.
I have to see it first. This is a very important one for me. 30 years ago to the day.
Well, I'm really curious. I'm really curious how well Jar Jar Abrams is going to do on this. Jar Jar Abrams.
I have complete and utter faith. As long as he doesn't screw it up like Star Trek, I don't care.
He was. Well, he should know how to do better because he was in the first movie. His name is Jar Jar Abrams. Randall, the reason why we're all talking about Star Wars, it just gives us a few more skill modeling options. That's the only reason why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I got your Millennium Falcon.
The smaller version of the Hasbro.
Hasbro.
Yes. This is probably a 1/44th scale.
For all of you who, there's the other Hasbro one. For all of you who are wondering why we're toys is because scale models are toys. Did I say something?
What's that? Oh, good God. What size is that, Randall?
That's the little snap type Revell one from years ago. But
oh my God!
you re-weathered it.
Mine dwarfs mine, mate.
I have the Fine Mold one.
Yeah, that's the same size. That's the same size as this one.
Yeah.
It's still the fastest attack in the galaxy, though.
How you doing, Bob?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Do you have a Millennium Falcon you can show us?
I do.
Oh, he does! He does!
Okay, he disappeared.
And speaking of aircraft, shall we talk about Randall's little winner?
Well, we will be, yes, we will be.
Oh, good.
Gonna save the best for last, of course.
Of course.
Okay.
Well, but hang on. Ken, Randall. Oh, yeah, Randall comes up to Ken.
So, since we were comparing Millennium Falcons, let's talk about James.
Oh!
Hold on.
That's the one.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Hasbro one. That's the one I've got.
Okay. Bob wins on sheer size.
Bob wins on size.
You know something? You can consider that a frisbee. You know, a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, a very big frisbee. You do know that they're coming out with, for that Hasbro one, they are coming out with this radar dish.
Oh, the new one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll never forgive anybody that changes Millennium Falcon. That's like changing the Holy Grail for the Christian.
Rando did scratch it.
Okay.
What does the bird look like?
Okay. Moving on. James, you're working on the Millennium Falcon.
I am.
Oh, we're just full of Millennium Falcons, aren't we?
You know what?
Yeah.
The star of the movies is not Luke. It's not R2D2. It's the Millennium
It's Millennium Falcon. Okay. So I finished off the right mandible.
Ooh, James, that is. I saw photos on this afternoon, and that is awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Let's
awesome.
I'm going to screen share this.
Yeah, the
It's
detail on
something
that.
that needs to be screen shared.
Oh yeah, now I see. Now I see where the middle part goes in.
Yeah.
Like that part there, when it's in between the two mandibles.
Yeah.
I see that. Yeah. It's very nice.
If you zoom in on the mandible edge, you can actually pick out all the little pieces that James put on
Yeah.
that
Look
look.
at the detail.
Yes.
Oh yeah. There's conduits for the last parts that go on.
This here.
All the little piping. Yeah.
Look at the detail on this thing.
Better detail than some kits.
Well, now that's impressive. Is that the underside or is that the top, James?
That's the top side.
Good God! And you had to make all that?
Yep.
I wouldn't have the patience for that, and yet I've got to pay for Millennium Falcon. Don't forget.
I mean, if you're not into Star Wars, you can certainly appreciate this paper model, the detail that it carries, and the amount of work and patience. This is that's not the interior, the inside of the mandible.
Yeah.
No, that's the cargo arm.
Yeah.
James, I am thoroughly amazed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thoroughly amazed. I've never seen a paper model with that much detail on before. Never. And that's my honest opinion. Never.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun to build so far. And saying with this one, let's see if I can get that in there. Okay. So there it gives you an idea.
Oh, gee.
The cockpit.
Oh, my God. That's...
Wow.
That looks awesome.
Wow.
That looks awesome. That really does.
Yeah, that's you're really taking a lot of time and care with that build. It's just amazing to see you evolve on that build.
Oh yeah, you just can't. You can't be in a hurry. Yeah, everything's gotta just do it as the time it takes.
And James, I have to say it. I have to ask the question: what type of radar dish are you going to have? The original or the Force Awakens one?
I'm not sure yet. It comes with the original, but I could adapt. The Force Awakens one, which is actually the standard dish for the YT.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think all of us have a model of some kind, right, Jamie? You've got the Millennium Falcon in some form, don't you?
Yeah, I've got the cutaway version.
Oh well, we're all showing off our Millennium Falcons. Lou, he couldn't be with us today. Says it sure sounds like it's the last one. Well, let me explain. I mean, during the 48-hour hangout, the members, and the members, there's a number of members that said, you know what, let's change who we really are, because we really are the scale modelers, not necessarily plastic, because we all do other forms and other mediums like paper, like balsa. So Amazing Scale Modelers just came naturally as a name, and really it was a number of members during the 48 hours hangout that decided on the name. And like, that sounds pretty cool. So everything was set up. And the reason I'm saying this is the first and last is the first one under the Amazing Scale Modelers banner, and the last one this year.
I see.
Come on to Randal.
Oh,
Randal, I'm going to screen share.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
I'm going to screen share your Typhoon.
right on, Randall.
Yeah,
Oh,
congratulations.
he's got all shy now.
Oh, boy.
You've got this to first place in the Ulster Aviation Society's Christmas contest. Do I have that right?
Yep, that's right.
That is incredible.
We do it's a photographic and model competition, and I'm a useless photographer, so I just enter the model competition.
That's incredible. Look at the detail on that.
That's not yours. This is the. Let me find some more pictures. But what motivated you to build this one the way you did? Because you've got some cutaway portions.
Yeah, it's actually easier to build that kit with the panels exposed and the off and the engine exposed than it is to build it with the panels in place.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of seam work and stuff like that that can be dealt with, and of course you start losing the detail if you go down that route. So it's complex. It's a complex kit, but it's actually easier to build exposed than it is fully assembled. And a quick sugar. Just broke a bit off.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's okay. Certainly the step that the pilot uses to get up into the thing. It's like a stirrup.
All right.
Yeah, stirrup.
Yeah.
That is an awesome build.
That's big too.
Yeah.
What scale is it?
It's the one.
124.
24.
24 scale.
Mm-hmm.
I love the detail on the engine, Randal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just...
And
Does the kit come like that, or did you kit match it to that?
no, it comes like that. Everything in the kit except for the instrument decals and the little pigtails that I have hanging off the rockets. They're the only things I added to it. Oh, and the paint and glue. Everything else comes with.
How strict are the rules on contests like this?
It has to be a model. It has to be aviation related. That's it. There's no categories or anything like that. There's no you could bring in something completely 100% special, or something that's like mine, just completely 100% out of the box. Well, okay, 99% out of the box. And just enter the competition, see where it's there's more than just modelers there. There was like, I don't know, about a dozen kits altogether, and about 30 people altogether in the place. So
oh, really?
a lot of non-modelers voting on it, and you just simply get a slip of paper and you put down the number of the kit. 1, 2, 3. Your favorite, your second favorite, your third favorite. They all get counted at the end, and I got lucky and came out number 1.
Very cool. Yeah, I think though, I think non-modelers would probably be the best judge because they got nothing invested other than being amazed by it. Wow. I got some screen share. I hope my computer will not hate me for this. All right. This is a progress picture of sorts. Let's get a little zoom in on the engine. And you're saying the kit came this detailed?
Yeah. Everything that you see in the engine came with the kit.
Okay. There are many different parts, or this molded all together?
It's lots of different parts. There should be an earlier picture taken like months ago, and it has all the parts all laid out in that way, with just the basic engine block sitting.
Right.
You
Oh,
just
just like in a
mount.
car, there's a basic engine block, but there's not much detail to it. People put the cables on and other gadgetry on it that an engine would have. But
It's,
you're saying that you can't necessarily scratch build to this.
There's not a lot left to scratch build. If you really wanted to go to town on it, you could add a lot of the electrical wiring and stuff like that. But that's just too fine for fixed
I see.
mold.
This is the kind of detail that amazes me. I tend to blend the paint together all one clump. And the landing gear put down never works for me. There's always one that's crooked and they're not symmetrical. But do you pre-paint? Obviously, you pre-paint and then you assemble.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How do you get around the problem of gluing the parts together once they are painted? How do you get around the problem of the paint puckering or having too much glue on it?
Very carefully. I use a Tamiya extra thin cement, and the wee applicator brush in it is very thin to begin with. So I just make sure that the bits that need to glue are being scraped off. Obviously, basic modeling stuff. And then I would, if it does smudge the paintwork or anything like that, I would just retouch it with the same color later on with a fine brush.
Have you hand painted the whole thing?
Sorry, Jamie?
Did you hand paint the whole thing? You used air gun?
No, I used aerosol rattle cans for the camouflage and base colors for practically everything. But there's a lot of stuff in the gun bays is hand painted.
That's exactly what this is a very good picture. It's very clear. You can see even the bullets in the gun bay from the holder. The bullets themselves, the casings are all painted the way they're supposed to be. This is like so cool. But that's the thing that I have a problem with is I've learned to paint my parts first, a lot of the small parts, because it's easier to paint when you're on the sprue, because it's already naturally being held. And then gluing them to their proper places, I might use too much glue, but I don't see little glue doing much help because it becomes very brittle if you don't press the parts together and let the two sides of the plastic fuse. It's just a coating of glue, which can be pretty brittle. That's the thing that I'm saying. And then you use a lot of glue to melt the plastic to join the two sides together. I've also realized that the best thing to do, well, it's not, I use the Tester's gel glue, the regular glue, and I put a thin film. I'm learning how to use it. You can use it very efficiently. Let the glue sit for maybe a minute on the plastic so it has a chance to melt the plastic, and then you apply it to then apply it. And it seems to work. But I don't see the liquid glue working the same way. You don't have a problem with that?
Not a great problem with it. As I say, the Tamiya extra thin stuff works really quick. It's practically the super glue of liquid cements, if you know what I mean. But I didn't have any problems with anything falling apart or breaking off with the glue, except for the start there. And but if I really wanted, to reinforce the joint, I could use this here.
Super glue.
Yeah, super glue, and unfortunately that stuff doesn't really set as quick as you would like. So then I would use the zip kicker.
Sure. Yeah, the kicker.
Instead of just spraying the zip kicker, I use this,
A dropper.
eyedropper.
Yep. I have a little bottle like this. Of course, I keep trimming the tip off. I'm gonna have no tip, but this is how I use a kicker.
Oh yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah. So I need a new bottle because it came with a pretty long needle, but it keeps clogging, and the opening is so tiny that you can't stick something in there to unclog it. Maybe a human hair, but Obviously, that's not strong enough. But yeah, sometimes you got to use the super glue in some instances because it's the only thing that works well in small quantities.
Yeah. The zip picker, I squeeze practically every drop out of the eyedropper, and then there's usually just enough hanging on the end there to be able to do the trick.
Mm-hmm.
And there was, funny enough, on that kit there weren't so many of the stress joints that I used super glue on, but there were ones that were very, very small joints, and I just needed to reinforce the glue on them. For instance, the covers for the ammunition bays here sort of have to they come in two pieces joined at the hinge line. So the hinge line itself didn't offer a great deal of surface, you know, for the ordinary cement to work. So on the underside of it, out of sight, as it were, I just filled it with super glue and ran the zip picker on it, and that holds it in position. And if it smeared anything underneath it, you would need one of those fiber optic cameras to see it.
Yeah, I've even had some people tell me using toothpicks or even some copper wire to apply glues and kickers. You can use a lot of different stuff to be more specific to the place, and not use just the tip of the glue tube.
Yeah. Well, I apply the glue with toothpicks, whatever, until the glue builds up at the end. Then I just scrape it off, and then I've got another sharp point to apply the glue with.
Right. You can scrape it off, file it off, sand it off. There's a lot of things you can do to build up.
Yep.
Boy, you're running out of bookshelves there to put your models. Now that I'm seeing, I think you got to get rid of your books. Burn your books just so your models can sit there.
But the books are my inspiration.
And of course, I'm not advocating burning books, but come on.
They're all related to aviation, to Star Wars, Star Trek, everything. They're all my research material, as it were.